And then after that, we got another LeBron dunk because why not? Oh, and here's another first. The Lakers have been promising all training camp they were going to play fast, and most of us just nodded because everyone says that. No team built around LeBron has ever played particularly fast, except last night. It actually happened. The game was played at a pace of 113.5 possessions, the fastest game of LeBron's career. And that pace helped LeBron score 13 in the opening quarter, which he's also never done before in a season opener. But those weren't the only firsts, and some of them decidedly less fun for LA. The Lakers missed their first 15 three-pointers. If you want to experience what it felt like, you can live them all again right now. Just as painful in fast motion, guys, as it was in real time.
A little faster, please.
The Lakers would finish
that doesn't count.
23% from behind the arc, which means 70% of their shots didn't go in, which is really bad. And it brought back up all the old questions of why this roster wasn't more loaded with shooters, whether the Lakers brass understands the whole 3 is more than 2 thing. There's also the fact that the new look Lakers, lost this basketball game. Although afterward, LeBron was circumspect about that, noting that every team he's ever been on has taken a while to come together. And indeed, that's true. He never won his first game after joining or rejoining any franchise, and many of those seasons turned out just fine. Well, this one? Well, yesterday, Lonzo Ball told TNT he thinks the Lakers are a championship team this year. I don't think that should be the standard we judge these guys by, but they will be judged. This is LeBron. This is the Lakers. The carnival has begun. Byron, when we look at those 15 three-point shots, it wasn't until 2 minutes going into the 2 minutes to go in the third quarter they hit a three-pointer. You're watching that game. How concerned are you?
Well, I think this is something that we all knew at the beginning of the season when this team was assembled. And like you said, you can't, Rome wasn't built today. You can't put all the pieces to the puzzle together in 1 year.
There's a lot of X's.
Yeah, but Magic Magic knows what he's doing. Rob knows what he's doing. They put together a group of guys that can beat you off the dribble. They put a group of guys together that are tough. They're going to compete every single night. Then you got to get the shooting. They weren't able to get the shooting this year. So this is something that we knew was going to be a concern from day one. And it's something that's going to probably haunt them throughout the season. They're going to have good days and bad days. But if you look at that clip of those 15 shots, because one of them, like you said, Zach, that didn't count. That was a half-court lock, that didn't count. Most of those shots were challenged. Everybody had a hand in their face. And that's tough against good shooters. And these guys aren't good shooters. So on 15, yeah, I kind of expected that. But the good thing about what I saw last night is they did play fast. They got up and down the floor. They got open opportunities to get to the basket. They're going to get a lot of twos. There's no doubt about that because they're not a three-point shooting team. But on the defensive end is where they got to get locked down.
Look, their starting lineup has 2 non-shooters around LeBron, Rondo and JaVale. That's the floor. That has to be their worst level of shooting that they have in any lineup. I think they're going to have to look harder at getting to lineups that have just 1 non-shooter around LeBron. I like the idea they didn't do this at all last night of LeBron, JaVale, and 3 shooters. That's a good kind of lineup. To me, the bigger story and the thing that I've been saying all along that I'm more worried about than their shooting is that their defense was atrocious. And their defense looks atrocious on paper. It was atrocious in this game. They allowed 113 points per 100 possessions, which were ranked last season. That, to me, is the bigger long-term issue. The Kuzma at center lineups essentially were lit on fire. And so that's the bigger problem to me.
I mean, the chops being licked when Kuz went into that spot. And look, LeBron also played some at center last night, and that didn't fare as well.
And JaVale's rebounding was bad. Their rebounding overall was bad. I mean, they just have a lot of issues to solve. But when Kuzma's at center, they have no shot blocker. And they just got blown by. You can't get blown by when Kyle Kuzma is the rim protector.
Yeah, you get one dribble and you can get to the rim, and he's not there. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. But like you said, from the beginning of the season, we knew this was going to be the Achilles heel. We knew this was something that was going to be that would haunt them when the season started. Was outside shooting and defense. And last night, it came to fruition.
Well, those are 2 kind of big areas of the game, and they're going to get tested even more if we spin forward to LeBron's first home game Saturday night against the Rockets. I don't know if we've mentioned this. It's right here on ESPN. Have we mentioned that 6 to 12 times? I mean, it is going to be a really good game. Houston, of course, coming off that dreadful debut against the Pelicans. Dreadful on the defensive side. They were just bullied by New Orleans all night. Who has more to prove then on Saturday night, Zach, the Rockets or the Lakers?
Someone's going to get 130 in this game. Maybe both teams might get 130.
I was going to say.
I mean, the
It could be higher than that.
it could be 140. Why not? The macro answer is the Lakers, right? Because we just still don't know what the team is. Like, I just need to see them play one good defensive game. They're still trying to figure out how do we want to play on offense. What's our half-court offense like? But that performance by Houston was so bad that if like a serious championship contending team, even one that's like we won 65 last year, it's just game 2, all that, is kind of mad. I feel like a serious championship contending team is kind of mad and wants to come out, even though it's game 2, and like, let's prove that was a fluke.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Houston's going to come out a little pissed off last night, after last night's game, and they're going to come out here wanting to really kind of destroy the Lakers. And I agree with you, Zach, that the Lakers have more to prove, because this is a team that they're looking up to, along with Golden State, that they feel that, hey, we're going to probably have to face them somewhere down the line if they get to that 3 or 4 spot. So I think they have more to prove, and they want to come back. And obviously, home debut of LeBron James. And I did mention that LeBron James is
He's playing in on the Lakers, on your old team that you won 3 rings with during Showtime era. That one,
purple and gold. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that, the Lakers obviously want to come out and make a statement as well. So I think it's going to be a great game because, like you said, I think Houston is real upset on the way that they played in their first game.
I do want to ask you about that, Byron, because you really did. I mean, you were part of those Showtime teams when the scene was the scene. And what do you think, having been one of the few people on Earth that I can say you experienced all of it, what do you think it is going to be like for LeBron? The amount of hype I've been hearing about this Saturday night game around town has been, I'm not sure what I could compare it to exactly. It's been crazy. People have been talking about this for weeks in the city.
You probably can compare it to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals.
That far? You go that far?
That's the type of hype.
You would go that far?
Listen, that's the type of hype. That's the type of exposure that this game is going to get. And now we're talking 20 years later. So you're talking about with social media and everything else that's going along. It's on that level. And LeBron James being the best player in the NBA, coming to Los Angeles, which is obviously big news. Everybody wants to see, what this team is going to be able to do, not only for the rest of the year, but obviously for opening night. I already know the ticket prices done went crazy, for his first game in LA. So this is going to be big.
Yeah, well, you've got 2 guys on the Laker team who've been in Game 7 of an NBA Finals, at least, in Rondo and LeBron. So at least they've been in that environment.
I want to know the full celebrity roster.
Oh, it's going to be
what A-list guy is going to be relegated to like 6th row seats, and how mad that person is going to be. How long ago did Kyle Kuzma pick out his outfit for walking down the runway? Was it like 2 weeks ago or 3? Because he's bringing something.
Right.
I want to know all that.
These are the questions that we'll answer for you on Monday's Jump. That's a tease. But coming up next after this break, Jeff Van Gundy has some thoughts on the Sixers' decision to start Markelle Fultz. We will share them with you. This is our distant replay. This is from 2003. Take a look.
26 as a senior in college. Watch this.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Ronald Dupree looking a little feisty.
That was kind of like quick dunk you. You jumped too late.
I just like the old Larry footage. That makes me happy.
Is presented by Marathon, fueling the American spirit. There's some. It's a make or miss league.
Said that with authority.
JJ makes me smile too. People are saying, as Zach has been saying on our show all week, many people are saying that Kyle Lowry is still doing the pregame handshake routine he used to do with DeMar DeRozan. Now, we had a big argument over this over email with the Jump staff yesterday, and the producers were like, no, they didn't think that this was actually part of it. What do y'all think looking at that video?
He's doing something. If he's doing something, it's weird, but, I like the idea of the ghost of DeMar DeRozan, even though he's not
haunting
dead.
Haunting
the Raptors.
I'm sure DeMar kind of likes that, too. Right? I think it's sweet. Miss drops. Watch this from a couple nights ago. After Kawhi dunks the ball, he palms it before he hits the ground. Byron, this is not normal, right?
No, it's not, but his hands aren't normal either.
Look at that.
But look how huge Kawhi's hands are.
He does use his knee a little bit.
Okay,
but could you do that?
Still, look, that's pretty impressive.
Right?
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, it's not Boban just sticking it in from his tiptoes, but still,
that's pretty impressive.
Pretty good. Big bucket. Zach LaVine put up 30 on 11 for 19 shooting last night. Do you think LaVine could be an all-star this season? Zach, I'm directing to you since you had some not nice words to say about the Bulls yesterday.
The Bulls lost by 9,000 points last night. And as far as his All-Star chances, look, anything's possible in the East. Anything's possible. It's the East.
The little bar,
You know
Byron?
what they say, slow your roll, slow your roll. He just came back from a major injury. He's getting back into it. The 30 points was very impressive.
That is good.
But let the kid keep playing for the rest of the season. You know, we got a while before we talk about All-Stars right now.
There's a lot of teams that don't think that defense is part of the NBA
9,000
game
points they
anymore.
lost by?
Roughly.
Mark Parker said it.
Roughly.
They don't pay
Miss
for defense.
Health. Dwight Howard missing the Wizards season opener. Wizards lost on a last-second bucket from Kelly Olynyk. Byron, are you concerned that Dwight is already missing games?
No, not really. He played 81 games last year, and he missed one game because of suspension. You know, he missed the first game this year because of the buttocks injury that he has. So I don't expect he'll miss a whole lot of games, but buttocks injuries are pretty serious.
I don't know.
That's what Forrest Gump told me.
I can't say anything more.
There's nothing more. There's nothing more to
Forrest
follow
Gump,
that.
that's what Forrest Gump said.
It would be nice
Buttocks,
if the Wizards backup centers did more than like lay down on the floor, which is basically what they did last night.
Your buttocks.
I want video of that. Make encouragement. Mark Elfwood's hitting his first NBA three.
Your hands
Right.
speak volumes. And with Clear, your eyes and hands get you through security faster at Air.
Thank God.
Harden getting ready for Rockets Pelicans 8 Eastern on ESPN. The MVP, what does he have in store tonight? We'll find out.
Thank goodness he took that off. Enjoy basketball. We're
Ready
going
to close
to
under
ESPN too.
Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back. I hope this season they stay intact. First pick went to AZ. Second pick went straight to sack. Melo played for Houston now. D-Wade still hooping now. Bron on the late show.
This city is built on stars.
Jack Nicholson on the front row.
This city breeds winners, and I'm a winner.
Season here, yeah, say your prayers. Spurs and Raptors swap players. I think we got us a change of plans. Giannis is a grown man. Big cuz on Golden State. Get there early, please don't be late. New York Knicks got a new coach. Mark Elfwood got a new stroke. Swish.
Jimmy Butler in. Tom Thibodeau in. So what was all the fuss about in Minnesota? The latest on the Timberwolves drama and how this locker room will be moving forward. Awkward. Tonight, the bearded one begins his quest to repeat his MVP, but in his path, the one-browed specimen tells us why it's his turn to be the league's best.